Hello, and welcome back to Spacer Laces. I'm your host, Jeff Meyer, as always. Today, we're going to run it up on the show, have some fun, but first, we're going to start off by lighting them up. First, we're going to light up the LA Dodgers. So, I'm not sure how much you guys have watched the World Series. I unfortunately only watched one game with working second shift. Really don't have the capability of tuning in during the week to watch the World Series, but it was one hell of a World Series from everything I saw and read. I was lucky enough to watch Game 5 after the Steelers Sunday night game this week against the Lions, and got to see a hell of a finish between the Dodgers and the Astros. Basically, the balls are flying out of the park, and there's a lot of speculation. I know the guys on the big show talked about juiced balls, the way that, they're a little different this year, and they're flying out of the ballpark. But if you're a baseball fan, I think this is good for the brand. Baseball the last couple of years has been really boring. Ever since the steroid era ended, home runs were down. There wasn't very much excitement. There were a lot of pitching duels, which, if you're a true diehard baseball fan, you really enjoy the pitcher's duel. You enjoy that low 1-0, 2-1 game. Baseball fans love it. But guess what? Those people who aren't diehard baseball fans, they're not tuning in. They're getting bored. They want to see 8-5 games, 10-5, 10-7, 10-9 nail biters. So that game the other night, Game 5 of the World Series, that I will end up watching the end of it, that was electric. If you were a baseball fan and you didn't have goosebumps during that game, there's something wrong with you. It was a hell of a game to watch. And last night, that's why I'm lighting up the Dodgers, the Astros, Game 7 at LA, take care of business. They took care of Game 5 at home. They're then winning the series 3-2. They go to LA, lose Game 6 with Verlander on the mound. I thought it was over. I thought that was a nail in the coffin. I thought that was a swing game. Because then it's a winner-take-all Game 7 at home. If you're a betting man, I didn't bet on the game, but if you're betting on it, I take the Dodgers at home. Game 7, I saw a crazy statistic, and I thought this was really crazy for baseball. I think it was 54-54 all-time winner-take-all games. Like, that's the record. 50-50 draw, essentially. 55-54, that the home team wins. That blows my mind. That has to be the only sport where that's the case. I don't think hockey's like that. I know basketball isn't. So, that's unbelievable. So now, home teams in winner-take-all Game 7s in baseball now, it's 54-55. So, the home team doesn't have an advantage. That blows my mind. If I'm a player on a baseball team, I want that Game 7 at home. I want that home atmosphere. I want that home field advantage. But apparently it wasn't enough for the Dodgers, so I'm going to light them up. Kershaw doesn't get a ring. In my opinion, he's the best pitcher in baseball. Kershaw over the last couple of years. Year in and year out, he gets it done. Got the big contract for the Dodgers. Doesn't get that ring. Puig played great throughout the World Series. Just not enough. But congratulations to the Astros, their first ever World Series win. It's kind of, conspiracy theorists out there. They win the World Series after, Hurricane Harvey devastated Houston. But hey, good for them. They did it right. They rebuilt their own brand. They rebuilt their farm club. They brought a lot of talent and went out and got those players they needed, got out and found the missing pieces to the puzzle. And guess what? When they put it all together, they won the World Series. And that's all you can ask. As a fan to, a team or sports organization, you want an organization that's willing to go out, go on a limb, bring in the pieces that you need to go on a championship run, to win the World Series, win a championship. And that's what sucks being a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. The organization, they don't do enough, and they don't make the necessary steps to get over that hump to bring a World Series, back to Pittsburgh. But Houston, they did. They were 2 years ahead of schedule. This was the the big picture, to win the World Series, of what they were doing, that, moving the pieces, getting the axes, bringing the people in that they wanted to. This was 2 years away. So for them to go out and win the World Series this year is unbelievable. Unbelievable. But yeah, I just wanted to light up the LA Dodgers home, Game 7 at home. You got to win that. You got to win that. You're not on the road. You're at home. Home field advantage. Enjoy it. But hey, it was a hell of a World Series, and like I brought up earlier with the baseball, it's a little different this year. They had over 1,000 home runs. I know the guys talked about this in depth on the big show, but it's just unbelievable the amount of home runs in this postseason. It's been electric. It's been fun to watch. If you're not really a baseball fan and you tune in, You're tuning into something fun, and that's going to draw you in. Like, it's going to make you a fan. Baseball is a great sport, but sometimes it does get a little boring. Even for us that played baseball, who love baseball, it gets a little boring sometimes, unfortunately. But this was not a boring postseason. So baseball is the real winner out of all the three sports. Because football, a lot of things going on in football right now, and the ratings are dropping. They had the national anthem protest, a lot of bad things. Basketball, you have the super teams, not really fun. So also want to light up today the other professional teams. As I'm talking about this, the NFL ratings dropping, like I just mentioned. The NBA, you have the super teams, not really competitive. The real winners here are hockey and baseball. The last two postseasons for baseball has been unbelievable. Last year with the Chicago Cubs winning their first World Series in 100 years. Well, I don't know, it was in 1912, something crazy. I don't know off the top of my head, but good for them, good for baseball. Then you have the Astros rebuilding their brand, doing everything they need to win a World Series. It's good for baseball, and with all the home runs, really good for baseball. Then you got hockey. Been fun. I mean, I'm probably biased, but I think the last 2 years have been amazing for hockey because the Penguins have won back-to-back Stanley Cups. So the real winners, baseball, hockey. The real losers, NBA, NFL. They're declining, but also want to light up. We're going to transition into light 'em up / college football. Light up Penn State. So I've been talking a lot of shit all year. Didn't think Penn State was a team that everyone in Creepy Valley thought they were. And finally a team steps up and proves me right. The Ohio State Buckeyes, who I fucking hate, being a Michigan fan, even though I got a Go Ducks hat on, baby. Got a lot of college gear. Just want to, support. There are different, things out there. But with that being said, sporting a Go Ducks hat, I fucking hate Ohio State. Go Blue all day, baby. But it was fun, a lot of fun last Saturday, rooting on the Buckeyes over that victory over Penn State. The whole game, Penn State just let them hang around, but it seemed like Penn State had it all wrapped up. They had all the momentum, and then when you get the second half, the offensive line for Penn State started to get gassed, and that defense for Ohio State started taking over. They were getting to McSorley left and right very easily, made it hard on them to move the ball. And JT Barrett just did what he does, kept him in the game, made the big plays at the end. That's the thing that's been the crutch for Penn State for the last how many years. They can't win all the big games. You put them in those big moments last year in the Rose Bowl, last year at Pitt, this year at Ohio State. They crumbled. They almost lost to Iowa this year. They should have lost at Iowa, but they came back. I have a lot of respect for them winning at Iowa because that's a tough place to play. They came back, took care of business, won there, but they could not take care of business at Ohio State after leading the entire game. So with that being said, they drop now from 2 to 7 in the rankings, and we now have the college football playoff rankings out. So let's dive on to that. Number 1, Georgia Bulldogs, been supporting them. They're number 1. I mean, they're a hell of a team. They're a complete team, but it all boils down to Georgia, Alabama, which Alabama sit at number 2. That's going to be the SEC championship. That's going to be one hell of a game. Can't wait to tune in for that. Number 3, Notre Dame. Number 4, Clemson. Number 5, Oklahoma. And then number 6, you have Ohio State. 7, Penn State. 8, I do not have 8 there, but we'll stay with the top 7 for now. That's what I have written down here. But so Georgia, Bama is going to be the SEC championship. Honestly, the way they've been playing, if Bama beats Georgia, I think both get into the playoffs. Now, if Georgia beats Bama, it's a little different because Georgia has some quality wins this year. Bama doesn't really have those big wins. Bama's Bama, though. They're easily the most talented team in the country. They have talent all over the place. But they don't have the quality wins that Georgia has. So I see them both getting in, honestly, because I think Bama's going to beat Georgia, and then Georgia-Bama's going to be in. But Notre Dame's the wild card here. They're really going to fuck things up for a lot of people. Because you have Clemson at 4. So if Clemson doesn't win out the ACC, I don't think they get in. I think Ohio State then gets in. I think Ohio State will jump Oklahoma, which is such bullshit because Oklahoma beat Ohio State head-to-head. But I'm just thinking if Ohio State go ahead and wins the Big Ten, they'll get in over Oklahoma. But Oklahoma could drop another game. I mean, this week I have Oklahoma winning versus Oklahoma State. That's an in-state rival. Oklahoma State's 11th in the country. They're actually favored 2.5 points at home. But I have Oklahoma winning that game. But that's a game they can drop right there. Not really sure if they will or not, but I'm taking Oklahoma in that game. So I'm going to run through some of my picks here. I don't know. It's a little too early, but as of now, Georgia and Bama, I think they're both going to get in. If I had to bet, I think Clemson and Ohio State are going to get in. But Notre Dame's really going to they might throw a wrench in this whole thing. They really might. Because we've been talking about it on Southbound Sports. Notre Dame not, aligning to a conference is essentially going to hurt the ACC. It's going to hurt the ACC, screw over the Big 12, screw over the Pac-12. So if you're the SEC or the Big 10, if you take care of business, you're going to get a spot in the playoffs. Is that fair? No, but you're going to get a spot. I can't say the same with the ACC, Big 12 or the Big 12 or the Pac-12. Not really sure. There's no guarantees. So I'm going to run through some games. I'm betting on NC State, talking about Clemson. NC State at home, 20 in the country versus Clemson. I'm taking NC State. They're plus 7.5. I think Clemson's going to win this game, but it's going to be a nail-biter. This is a huge upset game for Clemson. They better be ready. They almost lost NC State last year. So you're playing NC State on the road. You're number 4 in the country. NC State has nothing to lose. They're not going to make the playoffs, but it's going to damn well make their season if they can knock off Clemson. So that's a trap game for Clemson, in my opinion. I'd be kind of nervous about that. Then we got Miami, number 10, home against Virginia Tech. They're plus 2.5, taking a home dog there. I think they're going to beat Virginia Tech, so I'll take the points at home. Then Michigan minus 15.5 at home against Minnesota. I'll take Michigan. They got a new quarterback now. I like how it is. They can still run the ball, stop the run. They're starting to rebound now after the Penn State loss. I know they would. So I would love to see Michigan at home beat Ohio State over Thanksgiving. I'm not sure if it will happen, but that would be one huge fucking turn of events for the college football playoffs. I'll tell you that. If Michigan take care of Ohio State at home. But this week we got Minnesota at home at Michigan. Then number 24, Michigan State's home against PSU. They're plus 8.5 at home. I'm taking that. Home dog. I don't know what I think about this game. I think Penn State's going to win, but I think it's going to be close too. I think there's going to be a lot of close games here in the next couple of weeks. I think Penn State's going to rebound. I think they're going to win, but I don't think they're going to cover the spread 8.5. I'll take those points at home. But Barkley, McSorley, after that horrible Ohio State loss, I think they're going to rebound. I don't think it's going to hang over their heads because why not? You got to play loose. You got that first loss. Play loose. Michigan State's a good team. They beat Michigan this year. Don't think they should have, but they did. So got to play loose, play fast, take care of business at Michigan State. Then Iowa's home against OSU. Iowa's plus 17.5. I'm going to take the points at home again. Iowa must beat Penn State at home. They play great at home. They got a stout defense. Iowa's solid at home. They always are. They have a huge home field advantage. That stadium gets loud. I'll take the points at home. Then WVU minus 2.5 against number 15 Iowa State. WVU always plays well at home. I'll take WVU minus 2.5. That's definitely biased. I want to see them win here in Morgantown this weekend. But I'll take them minus 2.5. And then, as I teased earlier, Oklahoma State, number 11 versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma State is minus 2.5 against Oklahoma. I'm taking Oklahoma. I think they're going to win that game. Then TCU, that's I mentioned earlier, they're number 8 in the country. Forgot who's number 8. So I want to do the top 8 because I think they're the ones that have the most realistic shot. I guess I could just scale to 10, but I think your top 8 have the most realistic shot of making the Final Four. So TCU is number 8. They're minus 7 against Texas. They'll take care of business at home. But right there, TCU, Oklahoma State, all really close in those rankings. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the Big 12 plays out. But I think they're the ones that's going to be left out, unfortunately. But talking about being left out, the NFL this weekend, unfortunately, I'm left out because the Steelers are on a bye week. But huge for Steeler Nation, 6-2 going into Week 9 bye week. Gotta love it. Winning the AFC North, have a division win against the Browns, Bengals, and Ravens. You got to love it. Good thing for the Steelers. I like where we're at, sitting 6-2. Percentages are pretty high. You're going to make the playoffs. If you make the playoffs, you can make a run. There's a lot of speculation out there that Ben's, I just saw an article today. Haley had to essentially get Ben's back. This is bullshit. This is out of line. All you have to say is, like, Ben's Ben. Don't worry about it. Yeah, his stats don't look great. His touchdown interception rate is one of the worst I've seen in years. His completion percentage down. Yards per game are down. All the stats are down. But guess what? There's aberrant data in those stats. The Jaguars game. Of course his stats are going to look like shit. When you throw 5 fucking picks, don't complete like 50% of your balls in a game, what do you expect your stats to do? He might have threw for 150 yards that game too. So guess what? That one outlier is bringing all his stats down, unfortunately. Now, when you look at his stats at the end of the year, when you have 16 games, you're only halfway through the season right now. So his stats are going to look bad when you throw 5 picks and have a horrible fucking game at home against the Jaguars. It's like, no shit, dummy. Of course his stats are going to look bad. But guess what? You know what stat really matters in the NFL? The Steelers are 6-2. They're winning games. He's making big plays. Well, I'll retract that statement because he was only 2 for 19 on deep balls. I guess passes over 20 yards the first part of the season until last weekend when he hooked up with Juju Smith. Making plays, Juju on that beat. Love how he locked up his bike after the big controversy in Pittsburgh. His bike getting stolen, AB and all the guys rallying around him trying to find his bike. This just makes me smile. I'm just smiling, laughing because it's nice to see a little fresh air in the organization. The Steelers, for a while there, were an older team. I mean, they still got some vets on the team. You got Debo, Big Ben, Hayward's been there for a while now. AB's been around the block a few times. So, you got people who have been around, but you're bringing a lot of fresh faces in, a lot of newer guys. Juju, I think, is re-energizing the team. He's an emerging star in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers love him. He's a hard worker. He's young, energetic, makes plays. He's already leading he's already breaking some records, like most touchdowns by a person, was it under 20 years old or under 21 years old? I don't even know what the records were, but he's breaking records for touchdowns and things that someone at his age hasn't done in the NFL. So that's great for him, great for the Steelers. But I know the guys in the big show are going to talk about celebrations and stuff like that here in the next couple of weeks, but I like it. It's fresh. If they were doing celebrations, I wouldn't really care. If they weren't, I really wouldn't care. But since they are, it's fun. It's cool. Juju's locking up his bike's hilarious. Him and Le'Veon Bell playing hide and go seek. That was original. That was fun. So I'm just glad they're not throwing fucking flags anymore for stupid shit. Because I remember a couple years ago, Brett Keys will go on knee and did his little his bow and arrow shoot shot, and he just got a fucking 15-yard penalty for that. It's absurd. Fucking stupid. So I'm glad the NFL is having a little bit more fun. Steelers are having fun. They're winning. But, yeah, I just wanted to rant about that a little bit. The whole Ben shit, fuck it. Listen, he's playing well enough for them to be 6-2. And in the NFL, that's a great fucking record going into your bye, sitting the top of your division halfway through the season. I'm happy. The Steelers are happy. People in Pittsburgh are happy. And guess what? He's only going to get better. He's one of the best quarterbacks. Or, first off, I'm going to get on a limb. No, I'm not going to get on a limb. I think this is common knowledge. He's the best Steeler quarterback of all time, hands down, better than Terry Bradshaw. Sorry, Terry. Thought you were pretty good. Enjoy watching you. And I think it's Fox. I don't even know. But one of the pregame things, enjoy watching you. But guess what? Ben's the best Steeler quarterback of all time. He's been essentially a 5 to 10, top 5 quarterback his entire career. He's won 2 Super Bowls, lost 1. I think he gets hot here. Second half of the season, Ben's got his beard going. He's going to, rally the troops. He's going to start getting, some more chemistry going with Juju Smith, some of these other guys. You got Davis coming in, or McDonald, not Davis, McDonald. Yeah, they're just going to get chemistry. Le'Veon Bell missed the whole training camp, preseason. Took him 3 or 4 games, start getting the rhythm. Now, Le'Veon Bell is running the ball like Le'Veon Bell should. It's been a lot of fun to watch him carve up defense. It's so funny. Ben's like, I think it was before the Lions game, they're asking him questions about Le'Veon, different things. He's like, it's an artist at work. It's like, I enjoy watching his masterpieces. Every run's a masterpiece. He's an artist. And he is, man. He makes cuts that you're growing up, you're dreaming and wishing you can make those cuts. It's funny because, like, when you're a young kid, you play football, you look at, who's in the NFL. I know growing up personally, I looked at Marshall Faulk, LaDainian Tomlinson, some of those scat backs who could run, got their shoulders over their got their pads over their knees, ran people over, but also could make cuts, make some moves, catch the ball in the backfield. Le'Veon's got everything. He's literally, in my opinion, he's a mix between Barry Sanders and Adrian Peterson. He can make all the cuts. He can make any catch. And he can run fucking people over. He has to. So it's been a lot of fun. So I'm just excited. I love seeing the Steelers 6-2. Ben's going to come on now. Le'Veon's making his plays, doing his thing. Second half team. I like to see what Ben's going to do in the second half of the season. I hope they get hot towards the end of the year and carry that right into the playoffs. I hope they can do enough, beat the Patriots this year at home, get the number 1 seed in the AFC, and take care of business against the Patriots in the AFC Championship at Pittsburgh. That's the dream scenario. If you're Pittsburgh, you want New England to have to come to Heinz Field for the AFC Championship. You don't want to have to go back up to Foxborough, because look what happened last year. It's tough to play in Foxborough. And when Tom Brady in the playoffs at home, yikes. That's a combination you don't want to see. So I really am looking forward, hopefully the Steelers can get the number 1 seed in the AFC and make New England come to Pittsburgh. And also, it'd be nice too, because that means the Chiefs will have to play the Patriots. That way you only have to play one of the two instead of playing both of them. Because if you get the number 2 seed and the Patriots or the Chiefs get the 1 seed, you're going to have to play both of them. You don't want to play both of them. You want to play one of the two. And you want to play them at home. That's the key. But I'm going to run through the NFL real quick, go a little high tempo, and then that's going to be it for today. I went on a rant there. I think the Steelers are fine. I like where they're at. But going around the NFL a little bit, got the Jets +3 at home against the Bills. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills circling the wagons in New York and winning that game. Then I got the Panthers +1.5 at home against the Falcons. I'm taking the Falcons. Matty Ice, it's going to start clicking here. They're too good of a team. They're too athletic. They're too young, too fast. They need to start winning games. They're not doing that hot so far this season, but I think this is a crucial game, divisional game. They're going to take it to the Panthers. Cam Newton, never know who you're going to get. You get a super Cam or scam Cam. I don't know who you're getting, which Cam Newton, but I'm going to take the Falcons. Then the Texans are -12.5 at home against the Colts. Basically, every week I want to bet against the Colts. They're not very good. Same with the 49ers, so just tease that one. But I'm going to take the Texans -12.5 at home. Deshaun Watson is balling out. I can't believe it's so crazy. The whole Seahawks organization, because Richard Sherman basically just said, wow, Texans got a good one. He's going to be a top 5 quarterback next year, other than the 2 great ones, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. So he's basically saying that he's going to be in the top 5. Other than those 2, he's going to be one of the 3. It's crazy because Russell Wilson doesn't get any fucking respect. That guy fucking plays his ass off as a Super Bowl champion, makes some of the craziest plays, extending plays. He's always had a shitty line in Seattle. I don't care what anyone says. Russell Wilson has made fucking plays. And my boy Nick, the Cowboys guru, hates Russell Wilson. But guess what? Russell Wilson makes fucking plays. Makes plays. He is so fun to watch. Refreshing. Good guy. He's buttoned up guy. Makes all the correct statements. Says all the right things. I fucking love Russell Wilson. So saying that, I'll take the Seahawks -7 at home against the Redskins. I don't know who the Redskins are. Don't know what Kirk Cousins you're going to see, but I will say this. Cowboys took care of business last weekend in Washington, D.C. versus the Redskins, and I see the Seahawks taking care of business at home against the Redskins. So, gotta love Russell Wilson. I love that team. They're going to at least love that team as far as betting on. I like the Seahawks anytime they're a good bet. Then the Giants are home, +3.5 against the Rams. I'm taking the Rams. Matty B's Rams, taking them. Love them. Run the ball, stop the run. You're going to win games. So I'm taking the Rams there. Unfortunately, this week, it looks like I'm not taking many home dogs. And you got to love your home dogs, but I'm not doing it this week. I'm going to take the Eagles -7.5 at home against the Broncos. Eagles best record in football right now. Carson Wentz making a lot of plays. I'll take them. Titans -3 at home against the Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens. Fuck the Ravens, but they're going to win this game. 49ers +2.5 or +2 against the Cardinals. I know Carson Palmer's out, but I'm taking the Cardinals. They still have Larry Fitzgerald and AP. I'll take the Cardinals in that one. Already mentioned the Seahawks game. Cowboys -1 against the Chiefs at home. Ezekiel Elliott's not playing, or maybe he will. I don't know. We never fucking know, but apparently he's out 6 games. So I'm taking the Chiefs in that one. Alex Smith's going to get it back on track after dropping a couple games. So Cowboys -1 at home. Going to take the underdogs there. I'm going to take the Chiefs at the Cowboys. Dolphins +3 at home against the Raiders. This one, I don't. Fucking Dolphins. God damn it. I'm taking the Raiders -3. Gotta love the Raiders. Marshawn Lynch back. See him having a big game. I'm gonna get him in DraftKings this week. So take the Raiders -3 at the Dolphins, and then the Packers +2.5 at Lambeau Field versus the Lions. I'll take Matt Stafford. That's gonna be a lock of the week. Lions -2.5 in Lambeau. Matt Stafford's gonna get it done. I almost beat the Steelers. Played pretty good. Didn't do quite enough against the Steelers, but I see him doing plenty against the Packers and Brent Hundley. So I'll take the Lions -2.5. That's my lock of the week in the NFL. And try to shorten up to this week. The Steelers weren't playing. Still talked a lot about them. But make sure you guys check us out on Southbound Sports on Twitter, Instagram. Just check us out. Also, all the social medias. We're on YouTube. We're on Apple, Stitcher. Bunch of different platforms. The guys now are going to do the big show, the Southbound Sports Show, on Tuesday nights on Facebook Live. They tested this week. I'm pretty sure they're going to switch from Periscope to Facebook Live, but I'll try to find out more from them. But hopefully this week, either check them out on Facebook Live or Periscope, but make sure you check them out. They're doing great things. As always, call in to the voicemail 1-412-330-1512. Try to get some hot takes, some info, some, friendly banner. Maybe we can get some guys on the show. Maybe we can get someone on the Southbound Sports Show or on Spaces or Laces. But had a blast. And then 2 weeks going. So I'll have a podcast next Thursday. But then the following week, I am going to be in Hawaii. Take some pictures of Southbound Sports. Some of the Southbound Sports family is going to be in Hawaii, having a little vacation, have some fun. Going to be very interesting checking up on the NFL when I'm in Hawaii that weekend. 6 hours behind in Hawaii. I already checked the time differential. So 1 o'clock games, that means I got to get up at 5 a.m. That's rough. Wow, I can't even do math, not 5 a.m. 6 hours before, so that'd be 7. So I get up at 7 a.m. Wow, that was really embarrassing for a split second. But get up at 7 a.m., that's rough. I don't know. We'll see how that all plays out. Hopefully the Stores have a late game. I haven't looked that week yet. That's a little farther in the future. So hopefully if an afternoon game, I can tune in, watch that in Hawaii. It's going to be interesting watching the NFL and try to keep up with the sports world in Hawaii. So I know, in the sports world, we have a lot of East Coast bias. So it's going to be really interesting being in Hawaii, even compared to the West Coast. So should be fun. Check us out on all the platforms. It's been fun. It's been real, but it hasn't been real fun. This is Jeff on Spaces or Laces. Over and out.